Hi guys, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Actually working with my pal Larry Billman and his son Patrick. What we got here is, Larry and I came here a month ago and we were trying to analyze what the heck caused all this issues with the leaking roof. Downstairs, Larry pulled some of the sheetrock off and said, hey, you got an issue with the deck itself. And in order to find out if there is an issue with the deck itself, you have to do that dirty exploration stuff. So Larry put some towels in here, flooded the deck, and sure enough, this deck leaks. So, make a long story short, they removed the deck, removed all of the membranes, and here's where we're at, guys. Now, we're at a stage where if you turn around, Jay, and point, and guys, I've done about 50 decks. In fact, the last job we did was a high-rise with 22 of these exact same decks. The idea is, how do you fix it? Well, you got to know what the hell caused the problem if you're going to fix it. I've done this so many times, I know what caused the problem. You look around here. Now, this particular window, this was a difficult window because it didn't have a flange, but did it cause all this problem? No, it didn't. Over here, like say, this column here, this pillar, column, whatever you want to call it, it was compromised. And when I was looking at the stucco in general, when I was first here, I thought, damn, these guys did such a beautiful job. And I know what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at the whole thing. I thought, wow, these guys are amazing. So I doubt it was the stucco. And sure enough, it really wasn't the stucco that caused this problem. It was the deck itself. So somebody failed when they did the deck. What I was looking at is originally this crack here. I thought, that crack is, made me wonder. And then I looked at this crack in the wood itself. So water over time, and we're talking maybe 5 seasons. House is only 10 years old. We're talking 5, 6 seasons. Water went in this crack here, opened the wood as it normally would, and started to penetrate. So we get this big crack here because season after season, more water goes in there and it expands the wood. And then once you got a slight crack like that, which compromises the integrity of the Vicor membranes that they probably used here, then you got this kind of stuff happening. So the deck leaked. We got these areas which were compromised. So all of these pillars, Larry and Pat are going to pull off. In fact, these caps here are also compromised, so we can't keep them. Pat here is doing a great job. He's tearing all that apart. Larry's going to show you a window here. Then I'm going to go on the other side and show you what Pat's doing, which is really important. And this window here, man, it's a tough window. It's not my expertise, but I don't see any flanges. One of the toughest to actually waterproof. What's going on with it, Larry?
Okay, as Kurt said, we had to find out where the leaks were for this deck. So what we did, we did flood the deck, and it did leak. So we knew it was someplace in the membrane. But then we were also worried about these doors leaking. And when these doors were manufactured, these are, I believe, from like the year 2000, they didn't have a flange on here. And you can see what happens. The wood just leaks. I mean, the wood just rots. So I told the owner I would not put these same type of doors back in because we're going to have the same problem. There's no flange in here. Water can get in here. You really cannot waterproof this and seal it. So now, it turns out this company has changed their door to design, and now there is a flange, which is one piece. The flange and the jamb is one piece. We're going to caulk it, nail it on, and be able to cover it with our membrane. So that should take care. Like I said, we didn't know if these were causing a problem or not, but we just figured we had to go the full 9 yards. We don't want this to leak again, and so that's why we are replacing these doors.
At least the pan's right. The last job we did where we were explaining things, some fella took the pans, and on the inside, this is like a Z-flash, and it comes up and goes up. Goes up here, horizontal, then up. So that way when the decks are on and the water won't go through. So on our last project, we had 22 decks like this. Well, somebody pounded that down because it was in the way. You don't want to do that. Anyway, let's take a peek over here, Jay. Let me show you folks, if you're going to do this stuff, here's what you got to know. Pat got the fun job. I know you love that job, Pat. We just told him to hold off because he's drowning us out. What he's doing is he's breaking it out with the, we got a bulldog down there. It's a pneumatic tool, just and hits it. Now what he's doing is he's breaking out 4 to 6 inches. Then he's going to come back with some snips and break this off right here, break that off, and pull this whole cap off. That's my tool of choice there. Larry's too, so it must be good. Can you saw cut that? You could, but you still have to come back and do this. Why are we gently breaking it out? Because we need 2 to 3 inches of existing paper. Then when I come back, well, Larry's actually got a fellow who's going to put some saddle flashings here. Those are cool. And we're going to come back, and I'm going to Vicor all of this. Everything is going to get Vicor instead of the paper. And what is Vicor? It's a Grace product. It's about, I don't know, 40 to 50 mil thick. It's the same stuff they're using here. One more time on this side, Jay, please. Watch where you're going. I'll show you another thing, guys. This is what you want. Say now, if you're gonna break out, you want to have, there's the 2 layers of paper which are in outstanding condition, really good condition, and some wire. We put our new paper under this. In this case, we're going to put a membrane under it instead of paper, and then we tie in with here. I'll show you another thing too, because this finish here, it's cementitious, meaning when you wet it, water goes through it. So it's a porous finish. It's not going to waterproof the walls. The paper is your first line of defense. We're actually going to use a 690 BMI for the scratch and brown because it's a little more water resistant than most products. Then we're going to come back with an acrylic waterproof finish. We're going to match the same texture, but it's not going to have the same appearance. This is kind of shady because it is probably a La Habra cementitious finish, and when you apply it with a sponge float, it kind of varies in colors. They knew they had an issue because this right here is painted, say like the stuff up here. If you wet that, that's not going to change colors because paint doesn't change colors, nor the acrylic finish. When I come to do my final coat, we're going to put an acrylic finish. I'll probably take it right up to here just to be on the safe side. We'll start from here, go up here. So when Larry and I are done with this project, it will be better than when it was originally built. The idea is to make it last 100 years. So any other issues they may have, certainly not going to stem from this deck, because we are going to waterproof this and make it 10 times better than it was originally, or twice as good as it was originally. Anyhow, with my pal Larry does this stuff for a living. I actually do the cement work for a living, but between the two of us, we're going to get it bulletproof so the homeowners never have to worry about this issue again. From Larry and I, we thank you for watching. And as usual, guys, we'll see you on the next one.